my Facebook Live for this Sunday. It's just a bit of an impromptu one, and with Rochelle Smith at Stamping Flair. I'm based in Melbourne, in Australia, and thanks for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed your weekend and can just enjoy some relaxing time crafting this afternoon. Got yourself a cuppa. I've just had one myself, but it's off my desk, so there's no accidents. And I had one the other day, but luckily it didn't get on any of my work, so that was really good. So I hope you're ready to have a little bit of fun. If you are a subscriber to my blog, you would have seen the card I am going to make. I posted it very early as this morning. It was for a blog hop, so it went live at 1 o'clock this morning. And I was up, and maybe you were up, and you might have seen it, and it featured the Dandy Wishes stamp set, and it's a lovely suite in its which has 2 stamp sets, a die, and the cute dragonfly punch. I must say I have not worked a lot with it. We got it at on stage where we purchased it early so we could work with it as part of our demonstrator on the event, and I took it a little bit different, had a bit of a different take on it today, so I hope you enjoy crafting and following along with me, and maybe you'll get some inspiration to see where you can go with this designer series paper, the Dandy Garden designer series paper. I will show it to you so you can see it's got some lovely colors and just a bit of a mix of colors, and it's a little bit of technique involved in this card as well, so you may enjoy seeing that. So I hope you have a bit of fun. So I'll switch you over to my desk and you can see what's going on. So the DSP is all double-sided and it's 6 by 6, so it's smaller and more compact and easier to store, and I've cut it down to card front size to make it easier for me when I show it to you, and also if I have to, it's all set for me for card fronts to make it easy, and it's good for you even with your 12 by 12s to cut it down and then it's ready to go. Some nice monochromatic colors, so you could put that on a mossy meadow card base, or just to keep it simple, or whisper white, sorry, basic white. Can't help it when we go back to the old names, I keep doing that. And again, simple colors, you could color that in, or if you want a bit more vibrant. And I'm just going through your DSPs for your, and you've got some of the dragonflies, those cute dragonflies there, and some really fun colors. But you will see that I went a bit more subdued and on my card, and therefore you don't have to have it so vibrant, and if you don't want it that way. You can find the Dandy Garden Suite from pages 24 to 27 of your mini catalog. If you haven't got a catalog, please give me a text on 0404 255 001. Email me at stampingflair@yahoo.com, or just hop onto my website, stampingflair.com, and just fill in the contact form and send me a request for a catalog, and I will get that to you. So the card we're going to make today is this. The most involved part is, if at all, is just that little bit, and that's going to be my focal point, and then the rest is some die cutting, and you can see that I've gone away from the brights and just made it more subtle. The stamp set is the Garden Wishes stamp set. I've made my own stamp set, called it the Dandy Wishes. It's Garden Wishes stamp set, and it's the Dandy Wishes dies. So there's lots of dies, but I used minimal dies there from that set. The only thing I've changed for our card making today is the DSP I chose. It's the same color, I've just changed the DSP. So we've got a Sahara sand card base. And I'm just going to keep these aside, which I pre-die cut out of soft seed foam, so you could just to save us some time later. So I'll keep that aside. I've die cut from Stitch So Sweetly a little label or a frame from Shimmery white cardstock. So that's for my watercoloring. So that's what we're going to do first, so that we have time for it to dry. I was in a bit of a hurry, as I always am, and I gave it a bit of a blast with the heat gun to dry it. And in lieu of that floral, the leaves, I'm just doing the stripes today. So for my watercoloring, I'm going to use my silicone craft mat. It's just going to save me getting my whole work surface wet. And I will take my cardstock there, which is the shimmery white cardstock. You can also use your Suede 100 watercolor cardstock. I tend to go for my shimmery white cardstock. I just like the shimmer on it. Appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks for watching. And if you are watching on replay, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're watching on YouTube, when I post this, please leave me a comment as well. Subscribe as well so you can get updates. Hi Renee, thanks for watching with me. Now for the watercoloring, I do a little bit of a cheats method, only because if it's not a huge amount of watercoloring, I prefer this as a more controlled method. So generally you would use ink refills to do your watercoloring, and you can see I've done that with the Misty Moonlight there. I've dropped some ink refills and you can see the difference there. However, this is my little cheats method for small amounts. I ink up a block, so because it's just a small amount I'm after. So I've got Pool Party and Misty Moonlight. And I've grabbed my water painter. And I will grab a tissue, or if you want some kitchen towel. And how I did this, I initially wanted to use Pool Party and it wasn't quite working out for me. And so I did add a bit of Pool Party and the water painter, you just dab on some color. So use it like a palette. That's what you do with your clear block. So they come in handy for that. Then I'll clean that off, and I'm just gonna, now this is obviously a more stronger color, so I'm gonna dab off a little, make it really washy, and I just wanted to create that nice washed out sky type of look. And I'm gonna leave that to dry. So you see that took me seconds to do. And the water painters come in a set of 3. They open to the opposite way. You think they open, they twist to the left and it opens. That's just something I learned by wondering whether it was some magic way it opened. So they twist to the left. So I'll set that aside. And it won't take long to dry. It's a warm day here in Melbourne, so fans on, aircon on, and it's hot. Now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss that Whisper, the basic white cardstock. I'll get it right. Alright, so it's just a mat of 9.9 by 14.2. And instead of on the original card, which I posted on my blog this morning, I used the Scripty embossing folder, but I felt with my DSP or my designer series paper being stripy, it was just too much stripe going on. So I brought in the new painted texture embossing folder. And it's good to see what sort of a change, how it'll look. This is a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So if this is something that you'd like to get, it's every $90 you'll get a free product. So it's a good time to invest in things, larger items, or even if you want to add small items, your regular cardstock and adhesives, everything's gonna get you something free at the end of the day. So it's a good time. So that's a really lovely embossing folder. You would have seen in my launch online last week how I colored that in just with a smart job, and it turned out beautiful. So I'm going to just stick that straight down just to get that out of the way, and it's not going to get lost on this desk anyway. I like my white space, and I'm generally a white type of flat whites. Now you would see that when I've die cut that, it's not quite die cut right. So let's see how I'm going to cover that up, and we'll just work around that. And I might be able to just put it a bit different. It doesn't have to be exact, and it will work. So I've just got to make sure that I cover that up. We can camouflage. So I'm just sticking that a little bit to the right, and that's just glued straight down. Right, so it's getting there, my watercolouring, so it's not going to take long at all to dry. Now to stamp my dandelion, I'm going to use soft suede ink. Soft suede is a nice muted color, and if I don't always use tuxedo black, it's just sometimes I want a more lighter shade. And with nature and all those light colors, it's nice to have that. So we will go with that. Then there is a little blotchy kind of stamp. I'm just going to stamp the center of that, and I can go again because it's hard to gauge where it is. For the sleeves, I just use my soft sea foam stamping blend and colored it in. Then I brought in, so that's light soft sea foam. Then I've just brought in my light granny apple green, because sometimes you just need a bit of pick-me up color there, so it just adds a touch of extra. Then let's bring in our dark soft sea foam and blend that out. So you can mix and match your stamping blends, they blend beautifully, and with the brush tip and the finer tip, it works really well. And as it dries, it will blend even better. Just bring in that granny apple green again, just some fun. That's it. Now there is a die that touches, and so I'll bring in my die cutting machine again. This would work on the mini die cutting machine, this particular die, and I'm going to see whether this actually works. The whole lot would work on the mini die cutting machine. You will see, yeah, it does. So on your catalog, you will see a little sign, let me move this to the side, which says mini. And that says that you can use all those dies in the mini die cutting machine. So that's a little great tip for you. So when you're hunting around and if you want to purchase the mini die cutting machine, I think it's 107 or 109. So that's a great price point. And if you're looking for dies specifically to work with that machine, just look for that little sign that says mini, and you've got yourselves, there's quite a lot of dies that work with that machine. And it comes with all the plates and everything like that. So we'll put up plate number 1, 2, first plate number 3, and try, and then we'll die cut this. As I speak, it's a bit different trying to do this sitting down rather than standing up. Needs a bit of oomph. Hey Sharon, how you going? Not used to this here at the moment. We've had a pretty mild summer, haven't we? So the next thing I'm doing is going to add a bit of depth to this flower, the dandelion. I'll just bring in this cardstock. Trying to keep my workspace pretty neat. It distracts. And I'm just using the soft suede with a sponge dauber. The blending brushes work well for larger places, but if you like distressing edges, I just use that. And generally I like clean white. I'm using this to mainly pop the, this is a bit old, this one I've well used, I should say, needs to be discarded now. I'm using it to mainly pop it off the page a bit and give it a bit of depth. And the rest of it I've just kept it pretty clean. You can always just bend it and it gets into a bit of a little space. And I've just lightly done it. It gives that a little bit of depth. Alright. So now you have seen how I had die cut in those same Dandy Wishes dies. You get lots of bits and pieces, and some flowers which are larger than the stamps and things like that. So you get lots of alternatives. But I've die cut some grassy bits from the dies earlier, so save you having to watch me die cut them. So there's no stamping involved in that. And I'm going to add some granny apple green just to so it blends in with my flower. Alright, so again, just it's just very basic. I'm using a brush tip for that, so you don't see all the fine lines. And you can see some lines on where the die cutting has given a bit of embossing, and I'm just giving a bit of a flick on that. I do this quite often where I color my colored cardstock just for depth or a bit of detailing. Oh, I'll bring in my darker of seafoam. You could have just left it if you wanted, but I just wanted a bit of additional detail on this. Depends how much time you have, really, doesn't it? You don't have to put these grassy bits at all if you don't want to. Then again, I will go with the sponge over. So how these work is, that's what everyone knows how to use this. It's a little thumb or finger. You just put your finger in the little hole there, and it just fits on your fingers. And to help add detail or coloring, it's good to color. I've used it for coloring. You can do lots of fun things with sponge orbits. Have one for every color, or maybe for your reds and your pinks. And I used to do the whole color thing, but now I just have some for light pinks and then darker shades. And they clean up pretty well. Clean up well, actually. Just rub them on a piece of paper and use it for your next green and things. It's fine. And I just tap off like excess so you don't get a rush of color on one. You can always build up color, but it's hard to get color off. So now this is dry, my little piece of shimmery white cardstock. So I'm gonna get some maybe smaller ones, smaller dimensional. Or I might cut the larger ones off. That will work. If you have any questions, please ask me. I'll even if I don't get them now, I'll go back and have a check. They're sticky, these things. They stick my fingers, they stick everywhere. Alright, so I'll bring back my card so you can see what I'm doing. So that's what I'm working with. And then I'm just gonna glue some of this. Now I did on the original put some dimensional, but I'm thinking I'm just going to glue this straight down because I prefer the I didn't quite like how it was sitting up. I've just got a bit extra glue, so I'm just going to rub that off there. Let's see how it works anyway. Always put it by ear. You'll learn as you go along. Yeah, I think I prefer that without the dimensional. And I'm not worrying about sticking that other bits down. That's your main image done. Pretty dry. I'll bring back on my card. And you need a sentiment. For a sentiment, I'm just die cut one of our stitch rectangles. If there's anything in the catalog, this is from the main catalog, it's something that I have used so much. It's very useful. I would, it's something, one of the main products I would recommend. It definitely gets tons of use in the craft room. Again, I'm stamping in soft suede. It needs ringing, but I did not want to ring just before I went live because I thought, oh, I'm going to like oozing out and causing a micro mess. So I went with the less inking. And now I did a bit of overkill on the dimensionals on my original because it's watercoloring and it was a bit warped dry. So I like it to stick, not to sag and look a bit weird. So yes, there's way too many dimensionals if this was a regular piece of cardstock, but only because it's watercoloring I just added a bit extra. Now remember, I'm covering up my list of piece of DSP there. It's obviously that I've had it crooked or then I'm not going to run out something, so hence it's not the way I originally planned. And we might redo put our sentiment a little bit different, but that is fine. I think we might go this way. Do some dimensionals. A couple should do for that. For my original card, I just glued that straight on. However, let's not do that upside down. And outside the square is fine. I will say do it outside the square, that's all good. Create some more pleasing image as well to the eye. Now, this gingham ribbon is nice, and I tend to love anything gingham. And we have the green one, the Just Jade one, which is in that combo of the floral every season, flowers for every season ribbon combo. So we get 3 in that. So that's a nice combo. I have a shopping special which ends tonight. Any orders will get 10% off. That's just from me, that's not something on offer. So you can't place the order online because I have to do that discount. So call me with the order or text me if you want to place that order, and I will place it for you so I can give you that 10% off. So if you buy this bundle, I will tell you how much it is. Try not to cover that up too much. The Garden Wishes bundle is $89, so you're $1 shy of reaching a reward. So add a glue or something, and you will get celebration rewards. So that's how that works, and you will also get your 10% off from me. So you will get $8.90 off your bundle. little ladybugs are so cute. I think I bought a teeny bit smaller so I can see my sentiment. Now for the inside of the card, what I'm gonna do is stamp this. I'll stamp the color again. Just a little bit off. And I'll do this. I'll do it the same. Actually, I'll do a bit of DSP on the end just for something a bit more colourful. And then I brought in the Bumblebee again, but I'm not going to colour the leaves. So I want to make my life easier. Then, just to make it a little bit different, slice it, just add that. I'm going to redo that. See that? I messed up. I'm trying to have marks on that. I'm not re-inking the Bumblebee because that would have that off stamping and not in a soft image. Alright. Then we'll do that. And it brings in that DSP back in. Make sure that that fits in. So that's my original. That's my card. I think the Sahara sand just tones the colors, and I love my neutral range of colors in the Stampin' Up neutral range. It just makes everything just really nice. So that's that, and let's do the annualized and finish our card. Generally, I could go down with a 12-inch that way, but we'll do it this way. That's that one which we have just done, and that's the card you'll find on my blog this morning. If you will have a look, you'll find all the details which are of the products I've used. Pretty much the same. Probably because of the white stripes, it's just a little bit more brighter, this one. Which one do you like? Probably which one would you pick? Which paper looks better? Pretty much the same card. This is a bit more lighter, the watercolouring. So that's the Dandy Garden Designer Series paper. So if you would like to place an order, give me a call. I'm available. Any orders placed up till the end of today, you get 10% off. So don't place it online because that won't be activated, the 10%. And you will also get a celebration reward when your order reaches 90. So that's a good thing. So happy to help you with anything you need. Any questions, please pop them on and I'll go back and have a look at the what you asked me. And also there's a joining special. You'll get $235 of product for $169, which is always on, plus you get 200 sheets of DSP, Designer Series paper, free. So feel free to ask me anything about that and how you can be part of my team. We have lots of fun. We have challenges. I provide lots of incentives. And for my team members to improve, and they have lots of fun along the way. So please, my number is 0442550001. Thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me. I do a Facebook Live every Wednesday at 7:30. So uh, please join me for that each Wednesday night. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.